Hello, thanks for watching this video. I'm Lou. I am a guy who just has some experience with credit on here with
TY, another guy that
TY. I guess I could be kind of the old school guy on credit, and TY is gonna be the new school guy on credit. So you watching us from an experience of a person who is really building this credit and has built a credit to a 700 plus credit score, and for me, a person who has had a 500 credit score and have gotten my credit score up to 760. So I've had bad credit and had to fix my credit from a person who is a lot smarter than me in his 20s, which I wish I knew in my 20s what he knows about making sure you stay on track in financial literacy. So today we want to talk about financial literacy and starting off with the question that we get from a lot of people who really don't know about credit. And so the question would be, what is a good credit score? If we're saying what's a good credit score, I think it's going to depend on what you're trying to do. So for me and you, we're playing the credit game. We're playing the credit card game. If somebody's watching this and saying, okay, I'm trying to buy a house or I'm trying to just get a car, then that might be different. We can go on and on different routes, which will be a different video when you say, okay, if I'm trying to build my credit score, what is a good credit score? So last I checked, I talked to a couple of mortgage brokers who said a 580 credit score can get you a house. So is a 580 a good credit score? The difference between getting a house with a 580 versus a 780, a 580, you probably have a higher interest rate, and a 580, you probably gonna have to put down a bigger
I
down
was just
payment.
gonna say, do they have the same terminology like ARP?
I don't know. I don't know much mortgage lingo. I know it's just they say interest rate, mortgage interest rate. So when you're getting a mortgage, they're looking at all three of your credit scores. So we talk about a credit score. Dang, I guess we go down to the basics. You got 3 credit bureaus, right?
Right. TransUnion, Equifax, Experian.
Okay, so those are like 3 major
Those.
credit bureaus. Yeah. When you get in the mortgage, they're looking at what your middle score is. So if your score is 700, 600, and 500, 600 is going to be the score to look for a mortgage. But going back to what's a good credit score, a lot of credit cards, a lot of your major credit cards. So if I go major, I'm thinking like Capital One, Discover, Citi,
Chase,
Huh?
American
Right,
Express.
Chase, American Express. So you probably to get an unsecured, no deposit credit card, you probably have to be in the 600s.
I think to be safe, 620 probably.
Right.
I can't even really say that because I got some friends that got a credit
You
card with
got
a
wait,
five.
you got a didn't you help the client get a credit card? What was their lowest score?
I think they were in the 500s, but they got secured.
Okay.
Most of them got secured cards, so they had to pay like a 200 deposit. Capital One and Discover. The Discover card, it went from 200. Then I think in like 6 months, his line increased to about 600, and now currently his line is like 1,300. So Discover, it starts off as a secured card, but it's still the regular card. It doesn't really say secured. They give you a Discover It card, and you might just have to put 200 down on it, and then it turns into the card over time. And I think his Capital One card worked that way too. Capital One, Silver One.
The
It's Silver.
Quicksilver.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver. So what are their scores? You remember what their scores were? It was like high 500s.
It was a high 500. He bought a car. He was paying his note on time, so it was like 580, around like 580. But
Okay.
of course, they had inquiries and other marks on their credit score from previous stuff.
Have you helped a client that has gotten an unsecured credit card?
Yeah, I've actually gotten people credit cards with no credit. That's really what I like, to work with people with no credit at all. It's like a blank sheet. They log into Credit Karma. It has no information. There's nothing on them. It's easier to get them on the right track than it is a person with bad credit. Like, you got to go through the repairing process. You got history in
Yeah.
that.
Now, and not to hate on anyone with bad credit, because if you got bad credit, it could be fixed. So it's not like, oh shoot, it's over because I got bad credit. But yeah, if they
Right,
got
it's
no
fixed.
credit,
But yeah, no credit. One client, I got her Discover student card and the Capital One card the same time last month. She sent me a screenshot of her credit score on Credit Karma this month because I told her, just use, as long as you use the card, try to pay it early. You might spend $5 at the gas station, buy a bag of chips, buy a juice on 2 different cards. You pay it off, that's $2, that's $5. When she logged in and showed me, her credit score went from 0 to 677 in a month. So I told her, like, yeah, you on course for a 700 credit score by next month. You keep doing what you want. And that's no credit at all. This is like her a month of credit, 677.
So let me ask you, how important do you think it is? Because you get people to say, "Well, why should I care about a credit score?" From your opinion, why do you think having a credit score is important, especially like for this young lady that you helped? Like, why should she even care about having a credit score?
I get this question a lot when they come up with, I got money, I don't really need credit. Or, I'm financially stable, I don't really need credit. Credit is just a way to get put into debt. I look at it as a way to save money. Depending on what kind of cards you get, me personally, I prefer the cash back reward points, some type of credit card with reward points on that. So the $10 that I'm spending anyway off my debit card, I spend it on my credit card. Get 3% to 5%, 2%, whatever it is, I get a percentage of it back. Over time, that adds up. You spend 10, they just take it out your bank account. You didn't make anything from it. I spent 10, I'm getting a percentage back, or I'm getting points that goes towards something beneficial if you use it properly, if you use it for what it's meant for. It's good to have credit because you never know what might happen. You might have bills to pay. Something might go wrong with the car. You don't have that money right then and there, but you're going to have it later on. Instead of calling around begging family and friends for $150, $200 to get your tire repaired, you got it right there. You don't have to ask nobody. Swipe your card. You pay it back when you get it. It's good for emergencies. It's good to save money, get rewards.
So on my end, me being the old school guy, I just bought a 2020 BMW last year. At the time, I had a 760 credit score, and I was able to finance that car. It's like a 2.9% interest rate. And so having a good credit score makes a difference when you're financing. I have 4 cars on my insurance, and I'm able to pay a little over $200 a month on 4 vehicles. So insurance, that's one of the biggest things with having a good credit score. A lot of people don't realize having that higher credit score saves you money in the long run. So for you, when you get into the point of buying a house, if you've got to finance a car, if you're trying to get insurance, having that good credit score is important if you're wanting to save money. So for the person that says, I don't need credit, it's like, that's fine if you want to live a cash life, but if you're responsible with credit. There's a guy I've read about, and I admire some of the stuff he does. People mention Dave Ramsey. And if you hadn't read Dave Ramsey, he's got some good stuff, but Dave Ramsey is like anti-credit. And I get it, because if you're not responsible with it, credit can do more harm than good. So
yeah, that was a topic I got into an argument with a person about on Clubhouse. We were talking about credit, and she was saying how credit is bad. It's designed to like keep you in debt. And what I was saying, with anything that's not done properly, like with anything that's not planned out, not done properly, not organized, you can find yourself in trouble with almost anything. And credit, it has no exception. You gotta be financially competent to use credit. Like if you bad with money, and maybe a credit card is not something you need to get your hands on. But if you're trying to leverage and you're trying to better yourself,
say hi to India.
Hey,
Hi.
how you doing?
You?
I'm good.
Yeah, I like your setup there. That's nice.
Thank
you.
All right, I'm gone.
All right. The question of a good credit score. Now, some people will say 800. The range of a credit score is what? The lowest to highest.
Reading an article about a month ago, and it said if your credit score is above a 750, which means like 752, it really doesn't make a difference from 750 to 850. They all get the same perks and benefits.
Yeah.
I guess 850 is something to brag about. This is a conversation starter.
Right.
I got an 800 credit score. I got an 850 credit score.
You get somebody to say, "Oh, my grandmother's got an 850 credit score, and she got 20 years on the credit card, and she done paid off a mortgage and da da da." But for us who are in business, which we'll get into later, it's like, how do you leverage that? We can talk about what's a good score. 750 is the sweet spot. Some people will say 780. When I got my first American Express card, I was in like the low 700s. When I got my business cards, I was like 750s when I got my business cards. I would have to say 750 is probably the sweet spot. But you can get a business card probably 680s to 720s.
Another thing is like the multiple credit scores you have. A lot of people use Credit Karma, but then might go on to Experian, and the Equifax and TransUnion credit score differs. FICO 8s, FICO
Right.
9s, FICO
Yeah,
10s,
you got
it's different.
right.
I think we got like probably 10, 11, 12 different credit scores.
Right. I think every year, every other year, they come up with a new. I think now they're either at FICO 9 or FICO 10. I hadn't gone into it, and each bank, credit card, mortgage lender, whatever lender picks a certain FICO that they will approve you on. So my understanding is like FICO 9 only looks at your last 24 months of credit history. So what you've been paying in the last 24 months, because things have changed. Like, you know how you get the person that their score might be 750, right? And then the next month they use all their credit cards. So now the utilization is high. The utilization is 99%. And so now their scores drop to like 590. But then they go the next month and they pay all their stuff off. Now they're back in the 700s. And so utilization does that, what's it, 35% of your credit, and it has an effect on your score. But what a lot of these credit bureaus are doing is saying, oh, we're looking at your behavior for the last 24 months versus you just doing a quick fix. Because some people will get ready to buy a house and they'll do a quick fix and they'll dispute some stuff, and now their
And
score goes up.
that's what I had a friend that was trying to do. She was trying to get a car, and she was like, I'm finna pay off my credit cards, and I'm finna do all this and all that. And I was thinking, I'm like, I think they're gonna go a little further back than this month. You paying everything off, and your utilization been high for the past 10 months.
Right.
The card been maxed out for like 10 months, and you man. But I ain't really know too much about it, so I didn't get into too much details on it.